Scarborough Fair is an amazing Old English song in the Dorian mode. They've written it here in the book with a key signature of C, which means no sharps or flats. That would make A minor the relative minor in the Aeolian mode. But as we look over the song, we see the chords of the key of G, G, C, and D, D with the F sharp note. So rather than actually being in the key of C, we're in the key signature of G here. That would make A minor a Dorian, which we've talked about before, has a medieval sound, sort of a Robin Hood sound, or here a pastoral English sound. When we look at the key of G, if we want a second position mode, we could place it on F sharp and it would be the seventh mode in G, which is the Locrian mode. There's the G note. You can hear that that's the tonic in the major key. The A is the tonic of a minor key. And that's what Scarborough Fair is using. These are the notes of the song. We're starting on A on the third string, up to an A on the first string. So this shape, again, I'm talking shapes. This shape is derived from the F sharp Locrian, or even the G Ionian shape. But if I want to talk second position exclusively, F sharp's in the second position, so I'm going to call it the F sharp Locrian shape. But that gives us the A Dorian mode. A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, and A. Those are the notes we're using. We can fill them up to 2.5 octaves starting on this F sharp. As long as we remember that we're in A minor. That makes it an A minor Dorian. This is an A minor Dorian mode, but I'm using the F sharp Locrian shape for it. Here then, as you've seen many times before, would be all the notes of the F sharp Locrian. If we don't use this note, the F sharp, we're in G Ionian. If we don't use it, if we start on the A, we're in A Dorian. As we analyze the song a little bit, the book is actually presenting it to you as a finger-picking exercise just for arpeggios. So on. We don't have time in this session to teach it like that. Perhaps that would be the very next thing we'll do, is do a session where we just pick through the arpeggios. Right now I want to do the melody. You could play it in natural position with all your normal notes and then just leap out and find that A, but I'm going to use that shape again because we're working on second position. Why not grab it in there? So A would be pointer on the second fret of the third string. Here we see our E's. I don't want to use open strings right now. I want to use E at the 5th fret of the second string, an 8th note on beat 1, a dotted quarter on the and of beat 1. So we're playing 1 and 2 and, leaving beat 3 for this guy. As I mentioned, beat 3, I recognize I just instinctively wrote 4/4. I had to correct that, so magically you're going to see those 4/4s turn to 3/4s. Here we have a dotted quarter on beat 1. Dotted quarter is worth 3/8, 1 and 2. The next 8th is left over for that C. So we have a B, 1 and 2 and 3. So B, 2, B and 2, C, B, A. Dotted half for 3 beats, tied to a dotted half for 3 beats. Quarter rest on beat 1, so we're playing on beat 2 for the E, the G, and here's why I'm in second position. So I can hit that high A. G, E, F sharp is the pointer on the first string, second fret. D, E, dotted half note for 3 beats, tied to a quarter, rest for a beat, back on the A for beat 3. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 8th notes, 3 and on the E, 3 and 1, 2, 3. This is the only awkward thing I think for my second position. I'm playing C with the pinky, to stay in position, B with the ring finger on 1, G with the pinky on the next string rather than an open string on the and. 3, 1 and. In real playing, you would shift over there with stronger fingers. In fact, I might move this entire thing into 5th position, A's being here then. But you're going to be moving around a little bit in there, so let's lock her down in 2nd position and just put up with that. That can be a training exercise. Just be aware as you get better and more experienced that we'll move away from weak finger stretches like this. I spent way too long trying to solo in modes where I was starting phrases on my pinky rather than just moving over with a strong finger. In reality, we'll move over with the strong ones later on. So A though, back on the last phrase there, E to D to C, and we're walking down the scale. B, A, G, A. I'll need a little bit of magic again, tie these together. Here's the song in slow motion. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 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 3. Rest. E, G, A, 2 and G, E, F sharp, D, E, 2, 3, and 1 and 2, A, pinky. 1 and 2 and 3, C, G, E's, C, pinky, B to G, 3, 1, 2, 3,